All right, let's just jump right into this with a staggering reality check. We're looking at a massive $3.8 billion in reported losses. And look, this isn't just your standard market dip. It's a glaring neon sign signaling the brutal end of the speculative meme coin era. The days of pure, unstructured hype, yeah, they're completely crumbling under the weight of their own fundamental flaws.
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a really hard look at a massive structural shift happening under the surface of the cryptocurrency space. We are essentially watching the real-time transition from a highly speculative Wild West asset class into a lockdown, institutional-grade operating system for global finance.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The end of crypto hype. 2. The rise of regulated infrastructure. 3. How tokenization, AI, and treasuries all fit together. 4. A deep dive into the KINGFINITY ecosystem approach. And 5. KFX tokenomics and its roadmap. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The end of crypto hype. Let's break down exactly why these old market dynamics are completely fracturing right now under liquidity stress.
It's honestly a night and day difference, right? You've got the chaotic spectacle of the past on one side, and this new, regulated shelter being built for the future on the other. In the old era, markets ran on pure narrative, which left them incredibly vulnerable. Case in point, recent macro shocks from geopolitical tension led to roughly $450 million in liquidations, with altcoins just getting hammered. This new era, it absolutely demands accountability, treasury discipline, and genuine legal function.
And you really see this tension clearly when you look at consumer token platforms like Pump.fun. We tracked a massive unlock event of around 82.5 billion Pump tokens. That's valued at over $130 million. And you know what? The market didn't treat this as a fun trading opportunity. They treated it as a severe liquidity risk. It became a live stress test of whether these platforms actually have the buyback credibility and the governance discipline to survive when the initial hype fades out.
Section 2. Rise of regulated infrastructure. So as that old hype dies down, institutional-grade rails are rapidly taking its place, and the sheer scale here is breathtaking.
Check out this number, $1.79 trillion. That's the adjusted stablecoin transaction volume for June 2026 alone. Volume is the new battlefield, folks. It's no longer just about flashy market caps. It's about which rails can win through actual bank access, compliance, and real network activity. Stablecoins are literally entering the core operating layer of everyday finance.
Which perfectly tees up our next data point, an incredible $30.1 billion market cap for tokenized real-world assets. Tokenization is officially leaving the wrapper era behind. We aren't just putting a label on a blockchain anymore. We're talking about actual custody, settlement, and institutional distribution.
And the regulatory landscape is shifting in real time to match this. You've got Circle securing OCC Trust Bank approval, which brings part of USDC's infrastructure right under US federal oversight. Over in Europe, Ripple just secured full authorization under MiCA, the EU's huge crypto framework, giving them regulated reach across the entire European economic area. Plus, the EU is already reviewing MiCA to expand its reach. Look, regulation isn't killing crypto. It's finally giving it the legal foundation it needs to scale.
Section 3. Tokenization, AI, and treasuries. Let's see how this regulated foundation translates into actual tech layers, tokenization rights, AI market execution, and corporate digital treasuries.
Across the board, we're seeing massive infrastructure plays. In tokenized equities, players like Denari and T0 are building actual broker-dealer frameworks, which drove a record $3.86 billion in June volume. In AI and Web3, BNB Chain is targeting sub-50 millisecond execution speeds for AI agents, while Paradigm raises a massive $1.2 billion fund. And for exchanges, EDX markets raised $76 million to build bank-like rails that completely separate trading from custody and clearing. They are literally building Wall Street 2.0 on-chain.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Bad data inside markets can become market-moving data. AI-generated financial context needs absolute provenance. Remember that erroneous AI World Cup alert from Coinbase? It exposed a critical truth. Automated systems and AI agents require massive data integrity, strict permissions, and clear audit trails before anyone can truly trust them with financial execution. This evolution perfectly frames the rise of what we're calling DAT 2.0, digital asset treasuries. The diamond hands hold for the sake of holding era is kind of over for institutions. Today, corporate treasuries holding digital assets have to operate with strict institutional discipline.
It's all about active capital management, reserve coverage, and meeting actual dividend obligations.
And we are already seeing this in practice. The firm Strategy actively sold 3,588 Bitcoin, raising roughly $216 million, specifically to fund real-world corporate dividends, while still sitting on a mountain of 843,000 BTC. Meanwhile, BitMine holds nearly 5.75 million Ethereum. That is almost 4.8% of the entire network supply. These companies are actively monetizing billions in reserves, proving crypto is now a highly structured credit architecture. Section 4. The KINGFINITY ecosystem approach. Having established these massive macro trends, let's examine a project that is structurally architecting itself to thrive in this exact regulated environment.
KINGFINITY operates on 4 sovereign pillars. First, transparency, meaning 100% on-chain verified activity. Second, discipline, zero panic decisions, relying strictly on a macro framework. Third, growth, sustainable expansion through compounding yields and buybacks. And finally, legacy. They aren't building for the next quick pump, they're building digital infrastructure for multi-cycle generational wealth.
And their capital allocation strategy is brilliant because they don't just isolate themselves in the crypto bubble. They use a macro-driven strategy that bridges digital markets with real-world assets. They're diversifying across tech, healthcare, consumer staples, REITs, and utilities. It is a highly structured, institutional-grade model designed to build consistent cash flow.
True to their transparency pillar, every single resource is publicly mapped out. 35% is dedicated to operational reserves, 25% to ecosystem development, all the way down to 8% for community programs. What's crucial is that this isn't just some marketing promise. The community can independently verify exactly how these funds are utilized directly on-chain.
Section 5. KFX Tokenomics and Roadmap. Let's look right under the hood at the concrete mechanics of the KFX token itself and its timeline.
Out of a total supply of 1 billion tokens, the architecture is incredibly deliberate. A massive 35% is securely reserved for long-term ecosystem treasury operations. 20% goes to public distribution, and another 20% for deep liquidity. And notice this, the team and founders allocation is kept to a disciplined 10%, strictly locked under a vesting schedule. It perfectly aligns their success with the community's vision.
The KFX token operates as a completely self-sustaining engine. It starts with a problem sale, then moves right into treasury formation. That capital is then allocated across the real world and digital assets we just talked about, which generates growth, which then funds recurring, systematic buybacks. Every single stage compounds value into the next.
Tracking their roadmap, we see a very disciplined progression. They are heavily focused on Phase 1 right now, foundation and rigorous security audits. The big date to circle is October 7th, 2026. That's Phase 2, the official launch. From there, they move swiftly into post-launch treasury growth and eventually long-term global ecosystem utility.
So, if there is one massive takeaway from all the market data and regulatory shifts we've covered today, it's this. The era of crypto noise is absolutely dead. The future belongs to those who build beyond the limit. The real winners of this next cycle will be the projects that prioritize absolute trust, strict compliance, ironclad AI security, and genuine market utility. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on. As digital assets rapidly become the regulated operating system of global finance, are we actually building a truly better, more transparent system? Or are we just building a way faster, automated version of the exact same old one? Think about who really controls these new rails. Thanks for joining me, and keep exploring.